Hello there, my name's Card. I'm a long-time progressive community organiser and activist. And today, I just wanted to briefly talk about something I've been thinking about for a little while. All in all, I've listened to quite a fair bit of independent online left-wing media, like video essayists and commentators here on YouTube, or as podcasts and such. And there's something of a niche stereotype or trope that's asserted itself in the collective wider community that surrounds all these sorts of online lefty creators. I'm sure anyone who might ever end up watching this will have heard a joke about leftist audio and its supposed poor quality before. I, for one, have noticed a lot of people reference it, and maybe they'll make a funny little observation here or there. But I've never heard anyone ever discuss it in earnest before, so that's what I wanted to articulate some thoughts about today. Stereotypes are, by their very nature, frequently far from being completely accurate, but there's usually a kernel of truth in there somewhere. They're exaggerated, for sure, but they almost always come about for a real reason. So, I wondered to myself recently, where does this reputation for bad sound quality among left-wing commentators come from, and how accurate might it be? My initial assumption was that since a lot of meaningfully progressive media outlets are less likely to have the corporate backing of a conservative or centrist liberal one, their production values would simply just skew lower than average. And that might very well end up meaning lower quality recording equipment and post-production polish. Plus, whether it's nowadays on sites like YouTube or back in the days of pirate radio and public access television and stuff like that, there's always been a very DIY sort of ethos among the younger lefties likely to be interested in doing that sort of independent media thing. And stereotype as it is, I don't think there's anything wrong with low-budget setups at all, though. In my day-to-day life, I work in historical research, where I do a lot of writing. And I recently came across a really good quote by the historian Hayden White, who was commentating on the process of how we author historical works. And he said something to the effect of, all works of history contain whatever standalone narrative they're describing. As well, every text is also implicitly arguing that the way its author writes it is the correct way to do so. Ever since I saw that, I've been thinking about how accurate it is. In a lot of my time outside of work, I do a lot of political organising, all face-to-face practical stuff out in the real world. Now, also having been writing and filming these videos, many of which are about political topics, here on my YouTube page just as a hobby for about a year, I only feel more confident now in saying that basically nothing you do online is political organising. I enjoy making videos as a hobby, probably for the same reason I'm content in a writing-heavy job in the first place. Because I've never had a problem just sitting down to bash out a few thousand words anytime I felt like it. And the videos I make also definitely reflect how I think a good opinion piece video, political or otherwise, should look. Relatively short, to the point, no advertising, no big budget production values, and no fancy sets or costumes needed. It's essentially just reading the thesis directly to camera. That sort of attitude also means writing and talking about whatever you want, be it political, artistic, or otherwise, and on whatever schedule you want, whether it's 3 videos in a day or several months between uploads. I, for one, think far too few people who make opinion piece, video essay type stuff online, they make things far too ostentatious for what they need to be. And turning a hobby, where you make something, be it a physical product or a piece of entertainment, turning that into a career always degrades the quality of the product. Always. People regularly say that they would prefer the online content that they watch to be more like the pre-commercial era of YouTube. But they very rarely actually seek out or make content like that themselves. All I know is, I for one would definitely rather watch and upload stuff more in line with that early hobbyist DIY low budget ethos than anything that looks more like a commercial venture. If you feel the same way, it could be worth trying out for yourself. I can say I've thoroughly enjoyed making videos with just the camera on my phone and a laptop computer to read my script off of. It'd be easy enough for you, for example, to get started today if you wanted to. Either way, it's just something to think about if you've ever considered it. Once again, my name's Card. If you might want to hear more from me, feel free to take a look through my older videos. Otherwise, I'll be back in a few months when I'm done with my historical fieldwork for the year. Until then, goodbye for now, stay safe, and have a lovely rest of your year.